in medical school or in dental school, PT school, they don't teach you about the business of running a medical practice. We're trained to figure it out ourselves. You go to work, you come home, spend time with your kid. By the time the kid went to sleep, I knew I had a window from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. When you're single, you think, oh my God, I don't have enough time to do stuff. When you get married, you're still like, I don't have enough time to do stuff. When you have the kid is when you say, oh my God, I can't believe I wasted all those hours. I think you have to learn to leverage AI to enhance what you do.
And welcome back. My name is Daniel Sanchez, CEO and founder of Reekolect, and we're here at the Digital Legacy Podcast. And we have the exclusive opportunity of recording here at the Rice Estate at Turner Hill. And with us today, Joe Simon, a very special guest. Joe, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Joe, our audience is full of, business startups, entrepreneurs, AI enthusiasts, but overall, men and women that really that enjoy and love business and the business atmosphere. If you can give us a quick background about your career and quick little bios, just so the audience can get to know you.
Got it, absolutely. So I know I'm talking to the right audience because this is my people, so I can tell you right away, I've been in business for over 20 years. I graduated college as a physical therapist. That was my degree. I've worked from multiple locations and I started building my own practices. I can tell you right in the beginning, not understanding, what business is, because in medical school or in dental school, PT school, they don't teach you about the business of running a medical practice. So, on average, you will struggle in the beginning. So after the first 2 years of not knowing what I'm doing, but making a couple of bucks, you realize there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way to, to generate money, to get more patients, manage a staff, the basics. My first child was born, and that's when it really kicked in. I call this the baby effect. And that's when it kicked in and said, I have to figure this out, right? So at that point, I have to keep something alive besides myself. So then I said, okay, what do I do? And I think the best move, and I can share this with everyone, is find a mentor. I found mentors from different industries and, from marketing to fitness to mindset. AI these days is all about what AI is doing. But back then, we just looked at the basics. And I fell in love with marketing. And that's the one thing that changed my growth in business was the ability to, place an ad or do better customer service and generate more leads, generate more conversions. So that's how I started. And I was able to leapfrog the process by finding another mentor and then finding another one. And in a couple of years, there's ups and downs in every profession. Always. Fast forward a few years, I went into consulting where I had the ability to see other practices and other professions and other doctors and seeing what they did that worked for them. So I bought and sold many practices over my career, and at this point I'm down, now 20 years into it. I'm looking at where I'm building a platform for orthopedic second opinions. And that's where the journey has taken me through 20 years.
Absolutely. That's absolutely fascinating, Joe. And Joe, one thing above everything that you said or your accolades, I heard what you mentioned about finding a mentor. And I'm an advocate that that's one of the most, if not but one of the most important elements of growth in any entrepreneurs or business owners' life. And from your point of view, if you can dive a little bit more and unpack that, why do you feel the mentor was so instrumental in your success?
It's a great question because look, the average person, I'm going to speak to as healthcare providers. We're trained to figure it out ourselves. So to find a mentor is not something you're trained to do in school. You're really trained to figure it out yourself. You have to figure out the process. And that's why you see so many, professionals from legal to healthcare that they will not go get a mentor because we are trained to figure it out ourselves. But once you do find a mentor, and it could be in any profession outside of your own profession, but once you do find that mentor and you see how you turn the corner in 30 days, 90 days, or even if it takes you a year, you feel that rush where you say, well, if that worked, let me go find the next guy, or the girl, or let me find the next person that can help me take my business, take my mindset, take my life to the next level. And it's a never-ending journey. 20 years, and I can tell you some years I've had 3 or 4 mentors and masterminds at the same time. And some years, maybe I would go 2 years before I dive back in because I'm still unpacking stuff that I've been working on for 2 or 3 years.
That makes perfect sense. And I think that's such a powerful message that everyone should definitely take that and advice and find yourself a mentor no matter who it is. I know it's always been instrumental in my life. And to your point, right, I think that also they're able to guide you and almost let you know what's about to happen, but also guide you through the process while you're going through it, which is absolutely incredible.
And I can say one more thing. When I was consulting, that's the best form of mentorship because I'm able to now mentor someone else. And
it's like a teach back.
It's a teach back. So then you become better at that process when you are now teaching it to someone else.
I agree.
It's also a give back, obviously. You're giving back to, you send the elevator back down, basically.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. And refines your approach. Absolutely. Another quick question, because I know a lot of, to a lot of fathers out there, new fathers, I know that it's always, it's that question, right? It's that, one day you're in the room, you're thinking, wow, I just have a newborn baby, and you feel the weight of the world. And if you're not necessarily successful at that moment, you just feel an immense amount of pressure. How did you deal with the thought process, or at least keep clarity in your mind on what at least the next step was? How did you guide yourself?
That's a good question. So I don't think I thought of it that way. I just realized, you go to work, you come home, spend time with your kid. By the time the kid went to sleep, I knew I had a window from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. That was my time that I had to work on the second business, the side business, the building your own business, building your own mindset, reading books, whatever I had to do, I had to optimize time. So when you're single, you think, oh my God, I don't have enough time to do stuff. When you get married, you're still like, I don't have enough time to do stuff. When you have the kid is when you say, oh my God, I can't believe I wasted all those hours, because now you really are limited. So if you look at time management, I think that's the ultimate key. We're joking around about, obviously the baby effect, but it is a very true thing that happens.
No, very real. Very real.
But time management is really the key. And of course, when you do it, it's hard to do it when you're younger, but if you can master time management or keep yourself strict on that schedule, I think that would just change the game for anyone that's listening, with or without a baby, obviously. You can make this happen for yourself just by setting up a very tight schedule. So my schedule was 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. and I would be up again by 6 because my kid did not sleep. So I was awake very early.
Similar.
So that's, I had about 5 hours of sleep in the first 6 months. I was a walking zombie, but I accomplished more in those 6 months,
of course,
than I did in the 2 or 3 years prior when I was running my business. And that's when I saw the biggest changes taking place. And I didn't have to do a full day. It was 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours of focused time, and you get the most out of it in that time frame.
Absolutely. And would you say now that baby is a motivation? When we're talking about, let's say, overall motivation and what's going to keep you going, would you say your child is now that motivation to keep you going and going to the next?
Well, those same 2 kids are now going to college, so it's a very different conversation now. Now I'm trying to figure out how to pay for college, so it's a different motivation altogether. But at the time you look at it, and it's a motivation, but you also look at, hey, I'm doing something right, but then you get the result of what you're doing, right? You see the result, and you're like, hey, that worked. Let me keep doing it. Let's keep pushing. And then you see the result again. And then your life changes, right? I think there's a quote by Jay Abraham, change your marketing, change your life. It's something that I was like, it was absolutely true.
Very true. Very true. That's very powerful. In closing here, Joe, for anyone that's inspiring to really join the medical field, and they're being intimidated now with AI, and now it's AI, but there's always going to be new changes, new technology that might intimidate someone from pursuing, let's say, something in a medical practice or whatever it may be. What's your advice to someone that's full of doubt to how to overcome that and move forward and go for their vision and dreams?
I think no matter what profession you go for, if you, with or without AI, I don't think AI is replacing too many jobs. I think you have to learn to leverage AI to enhance what you do. So obviously there's going to be the trades that aren't going to change. I know medicine is not going to change. You're going to still need that professional that you want to trust. Again, we've done a nationwide survey, and we said, well, we can use AI and give the orthopedic second opinion. And instead of going to multiple doctors, we can download everything. But the survey, the results we got back from that survey is people wanted the top surgeons in the country. They wanted that human to give them that answer.
There you go.
Yeah, AI could do it, but they still need it. I think for everyone listening, follow your passion, but the reality is find a job or find a profession that will actually get you a paycheck, number one. But number two, how can you leverage AI to not only exceed that role, but even build on top of that?
Absolutely. Great advice. Well, Joe, thank you so much. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate you having you here on the
Thank you so
podcast.
much.
You guys already heard it, and thank you so much for joining us, okay? Thank you.